Namaskaram everyone and welcome to the podcast. We have dear Nishant Anna with us. Namaskaram Anna. As you can see, we are in his beautiful shop, Kule Kule. Nishant Anna, I asked him how to intro him. I said, I'll intro you as the brand owner of Kule Kule. He's like, no, I am an Isha meditator. So we have a very beautiful person, an Isha meditator, who used to work in Max Life Insurance. No, now you can't get any insurance from him. Because now you can only get beautiful pashmina shawls.
Yes.
So today we are here to document his journey and welcome to the podcast, Anna.
Thank you so much.
So before we go into the podcast, tell us that did you always have such a beautiful laugh or was it something?
So yes, I really had this kind of laugh, and I'm in a habit of making people startled. So they always used to get in shock. So right from my childhood, So this is how do you get such kind of a laugh? Then in my school days, I was also been called as the guy who laughs like Ravan. Only that kind of laugh. It's very rare to find. So much so that even at one point in time when I was in college, I was even paid for, I was running short of money.
Okay.
So I played the character of Ravan because just of my voice and this laughter.
Now when you look at it, yes, you have the height. Anna is very tall and like Ravan is a very powerful character.
Yes.
So you should have a presence.
So that was a one day, some kind of Ramayana that was being played. So they offered to pay like 200 rupees. I said 200 rupees, that was a big amount of
Sita
money.
pretty in that?
Sita was also boy. Yes.
Okay.
So that's in Uttarakhand, so all the characters they are played to be on the same side by men only. So boys play the role of a Sita, so that is how it used to be. So then that is what I realized, you should not be faking it. At one point in time, even when I was in corporate, so I tried to control it. But I could only control it for a while. Then suddenly when the volcano was about to erupt, so all my bosses they used to profusely get uncomfortable. Now he's beginning. Now he might break. And then suddenly in the middle of this meeting room, suddenly ha ha ha. Even when we go to the board meetings, the people they were pretty comfortable with it. However, we could only recognize, who's the new one in the facilities. The one, as soon as he opens the door and I'm laughing, suddenly he shakes, he spills the coffee. Then that is how you're like, okay, this guy seems to be someone new. Okay. So that is how my journey is.
Beautiful, Anna.
Yeah.
So we would like to know more about that, school days, how your childhood days and college days, so that we get to know you a bit more. So wherever you're comfortable in,
Sure.
And
So
more about a little bit about your parents and how you grew up.
So we hail from Uttarakhand. So my grandfather was a leading lawyer. He was a criminal lawyer in Uttarakhand. His name was R.B. Pande, and then he was from. We hail from Almora. This is Almora city in Uttarakhand, and from that he shifted his base to Muradabad. That's in Uttar Pradesh. So that is where most of my schooling was then. So in there, that was a pretty small, cute little town, you can say, at that point in time. The brass export is what it's now mostly known as. Yeah, it's actually the main point of Muradabad is known as the brass city.
Oh, I see.
That is where I was born and brought up in. Schooling was nice. We used to cycle to school. Those were the days. So that is what keeps you always on. So right now you look at the way your eyes get starry when you look at a Bullet and a BMW. So at that point in time, Hero Jet used to be your brake, heartbreaker, and your heart used to start pumping. So okay, I just want to have that cycle,
And life is fulfilled.
Life is for life sorted. We don't have much in life because we just had one channel, Doordarshan, everyone used to. So I'm from that era. We had very, very limited, exposure. And that really kind of helped, to be a kind of person, who's not really looking for much. Then later on, we realized that no, this is not the way. So that is when the schooling. Right from my schooling till 8th, I was there. Then after that, I went to Lucknow for a year of study.
You want to pick your code?
Let me turn it into silent. So that is what happened, So we had a very limited scope. There was only one channel that we used to watch. Chitrahar used to be one day when we used to saw music. Music used to be just one Chitrahar, and then movies used to be on Sundays. So that is how I've grown, And for us, at that point in time, Delhi used to be like, oh my God, Delhi used to be like, oh, this is the next biggest thing in the world that can possibly happen to you is you can go to Delhi. And once I've been to a place called Apughar.
Apughar.
And I just kept looking at those big swings. I was like, how can this possibly exist? My God. So I was really in an awe with all these things. So I was like, I really wonder someday if I might come in the city of Delhi, this known as city of dreams. You always, people from small town, they always want to go to big towns, and that is what really happens. People from villages, they want to get into a town. So ultimately, the one that is left behind are the core villages. Yeah. So that is the problem that I came to realize after much later. And so we were kept very much in touch with our culture. So we used to frequently go, on our summer vacation.
What is the culture of
Uttarakhand? They are the people from Uttarakhand. They are pretty, So I can say pretty sorted in some sense, as in they really don't aspire too much. So that is the first thing. Second thing which I really admire most about my culture is, how a female is treated there, and that is very, very important because people invest in the education of the kid, of a girl child. So unlike the other states, if you see, they are collecting to give a dowry. Dowry does not exist in.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, people used to laugh because I for a long period of my life I used to think that dowry and all these things, they are actually movie things.
Right.
I was not aware that this is for real. When I just when attended one of my friend's marriage, and so he was like, of my friend's elder brother was getting married, and I went to his marriage. And then there was a tent on the side, and then there was like television and VCR and fridge, refrigerator, bike.
These are things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, whoa, what is this? He said, no, this is dowry. So I laughed. I have a liar, like I laughed. I said, ha ha. So this is dowry. So this is some movie shoot or something kind of happening. So he said, no, this is not a movie scene. I don't know. The dowry only happens in movies, right? So suddenly there were faces who were looking at me, like, who's this moron? Where has he come from? So I was actually that ignorant of this tradition, and so it was very hard for me to digest that. No, it does exist. So out there, people, they really, like, my wife was more learned than I am. She's an MBA, a master's in veterinary science, and you see the majority of the females from Uttarakhand, they are well read, well educated, and similarly it goes with the male population as well. But comparatively, if you compare with the other states, females, they are far ahead, and that is something that I really like. They are given the choice, they can choose their careers, and they really have a say in the family. So this is something which was absolutely normal for me. I mean, we used to our habit. We used to go and get up and you do your own bed.
Right.
So that was normal for me, And then when I used to visit like some of my friends, and I said, oh, well, night stays and all. I said, okay, we got up, let's do the bed. He said, no, mom will do it. No, this is not the job of a man.
Yeah.
Men don't do these things.
Okay.
I said, what has got to do with men and women? No, let's do it. Let's cook ourselves. He said, no, we are not supposed to cook.
We are not supposed to.
I said, why are we not supposed to? He said, do you know how to cook? I said, yeah, I know how to cook. He said, come on, yeah, don't say this. Otherwise, they'll laugh at you. I said, no, what is there to laugh? If you are hungry and if you don't know how to cook, so that is something to laugh at.
Yes.
Not something that, you should be actually proud of it. That
Right.
I know how to cook. I'll not die hungry.
So you had that awareness at that time also, even when your peer group used to say this is man, you were like, no, you could tell.
Actually, it was normal because my upbringing has been like that. That you have to do before your meal. Puja has to be done. So puja didn't start as a puja kind of thing. So the prayers, they started off like, I'm feeling so hungry. I quickly just need to wrap it up so that I get to get the access to the food.
Right.
So that was all about it. Nothing more than that. So that is how I started doing it started with Hanuman Chalisa, something very basic. And that is what you see. People of Uttarakhand, they're really God loving and God fearing at the same point in time. So they really, in every house you can find, they are they very much adhere to these things. Morning you get up, you do any puja, you choose your own God, and that is something which I really like. You choose your God. We've got billions, and you've got plenty of options. So, and that is what, and later on I came to realize that, because every year we used to go to our Ishtadev. So Ishtadev and Kul Devi, we were very much aware right from the beginning. So it was very much part of our lives that, every year you have to visit. Visit, and there is no question about it. I do not have time, and so at that point in time, that was very open. The best way to quickly get something in your head was just one slap here, and everything just got downloaded so quickly, so fast.
Like you're talking about slap from the Kule Kule when you go.
No.
Okay.
So it's more like, whenever I used to, get things done, and in today's era, people have everything. The kids, they just have to ask for it.
Right.
At that point in time, we don't have that much of means. So I was, after my mother, no, I want this. Okay, she'll turn around, patak, one slap. Then all your senses are rectified. Okay, got it, downloaded. Even it was all fine. Even getting slapped in the school time, because then I realized it's very necessary for the discipline. Because else, people tend to get very rowdy. So it's part and parcel of life.
It was part of that at that time, at those times, yeah.
And you see, I do not see any fuss in it, because we never took something so seriously. Now it's very disturbing when you hear stories like, the parent, they slapped and they committed and they jumped out of that building.
Right.
So that's actually shocking, because I don't know where that mind comes from. How can you even think about it? Perhaps a lot has got to do with when you really have limited means. So that's really important at some stage, and that is what our parents they did to me, and what I even shared with my all my cousins and all, because even if you have plenty, you should not they should not be that easily accessible to the kids, and that is what I also assured, that things should not come that easy to a person. They should feel that they've earned it. Just like, starting from the food, you do your prayers and you earn your food. You do something, and then you earn for it. So like I had to score, good marks, and I had to score in like, in sports. Only then I've qualified to get my dream bicycle, a Eurojet. So that is how I think, that is how you really value the importance of these small things. Now, at the drop of a hat, if you get something just like that, you'll not really value it. So the value comes when you spend some amount of effort, some sweat, some blood on it. Then it seems like an achievement. So even those old trophies, keep it so close to you. Those, they hardly cost like 50 rupees, 10 rupees, or hardly anything.
Right.
But it's the effort that goes behind, and that effort is what signifies the trophy.
Right.
So that is how it goes.
The acknowledgement of the effort, I think. Right?
Yeah, acknowledgement of the effort. So the schooling from, I was really lucky to have got my schooling from a small town, and then I wanted to go to college, and college thing, it was because I always.
What did you?
I actually wanted to go into army.
Army, okay.
So because half of my family is from the army.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So army was like one of the main destinations, and even in Kumaon, from where I hail from, Uttarakhand. So Kumaon regiment is there, and that's very famous because if you got two boys, one boy will go into the army. Kumaon regiment. So Kumaon regiment is like one big pit stop for all the boys, and so I used to aspire, and that is how I got this physique also, because one of my one of my major uncles, he came to meet my grandfather. So he used to call him Major Uncle. So he was major at that point in time. So he came with his platoon. And I was so much obsessed with, seeing those big trucks and all those commandos. I said, wow. He said, no, you should aim for the army. You are an army material. I don't know what he looked at inside me. I said, okay. So he said, now you do 20 push-ups daily and, you run. And that is how you'll become fit. So that's it. Next day, because when you do not have any goal, someone gives you a goal. Next day, I started doing push-ups, then cramps happened and this and happened, and even everyone shout, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "No. I need to run and I need to do my push-ups.
20 push-ups,
20 push-ups daily, and slowly, and then I sat for NDA.
How long did you do this 20 push-ups and running? I just want to know.
Yes. So that was when I was in 6th standard.
Okay.
So 6th I started off. Then I started playing table tennis also. So it was at that point in time, because that really helped in my game also. So I was just somewhere connected with some of the other sport, but the target was the army.
Right.
So then luckily I got selected, and
you wrote the NDA and
yes, I got through NDA, got selected. And at that same point in time, the Kargil war was there. So I was even, I was on the 7th sky, I am going to blast them, or you just see and just wait. Nishant Pande is coming to kill you all buggers. So I was really that much passionate. And then, as usual, my parents, they really had big doubts, because I used to stammer a lot. When I was young, I had a speech problem. And slowly, they just left it on Mother Nature. So slowly, I used to go to fields and, go to, my Tauji was a farmer, he was a family friend. So I used to spend a lot of time there. I don't know, when the more time I used to spend with nature, my speech clarity got corrected all by itself. Because there we used to walk barefoot, in cities still, you have to wear shoes. Not really that fond of wearing shoes and all, still. But that is how my speech problem got corrected all by itself, all natural.
How long
Slowly,
did it take it to get corrected?
Till 4th standard, I could not even, speak one word clearly.
Right.
So, Adbud, the word Adbud, I could pronounce it as Hadi Mudi.
Hadi Mudi.
So I used to, and also clarity issues. Then my bua was very much, she was very much afraid. He'll not learn to. He's in 4th standard. Next year he'll be in 5th standard. He's not able to speak properly. So she told me, take these 3 fingers, put inside your mouth, and then speak, so that you can open your mouth. Open your mouth, and you can speak. So that is so everyone. I guess it's all effort of everyone. Some way or the other, I got through. So I got through that way, that from the guy who was not able to speak properly till its 4th standard, I won the elocution contest in in 9th standard.
Right.
9th and 10th, I started reciting poems, and I was suddenly I became a good orator. I don't know what happened. Suddenly I was speaking clearly, and I was able to articulate few things well. So, but it was all natural, because my parents, they were patient enough, or we can also say that they do not have that much of time to spend on me, that they left me. They said, okay, you take your own time. So there's no hurry.
Right.
So that is how it went. And
were you the only son? Or?
I had an elder brother also. Yeah, I still have, but he stays in Brazil.
Oh, he's in Brazil.
Yeah, he's in Brazil. So that is what. So he's a corporate guy.
Right.
So even in our childhood days, he was like, "Who wants to get into the army? Army does not even pay you." I said, "Who works for pay? I just want to work for the country." He said, "Those days, and at some point in time, everyone used to feel like, there was a common saying, oh, it was such a lovely place, you do not even feel like it's in India. So that is the era. So, and people, they wanted to leave the country. I never wanted, and I was pretty clear about it. I said, okay, if I'm born in this country, there must be some reason. So let me do my bit. So that is when I got selected in the army. And then when the letter came, I could never see that letter even.
Okay.
So that letter
MBA.
was, yeah,
Okay.
I
you
got
got
selected. And, the physical and that thing happened. And then the letter, I was just waiting, and the letter is not reaching. So I just happened to ask one of our servants, because grandfather was pretty rich that way. Yeah. So we had a very, very big compound. Even that big that when I used to fly kites, and if the fly, if someone used to cut my kite, it used to fall in my premises only. So it was very huge compound.
Right.
So I used to run in my compound only, and 5 kilometers done.
Okay.
So it was really that big a compound. So that is what one of the servants told me, that Bhaiya ji, your letter came from the army, but your mother has hidden it. So I said, why? Then I went. Then there was a big scenario. My mother cried. She said, no, he'll die. Any which ways, Kargil war is on. And what's wrong with this bugger? He said, he'll go and kill. So my father was like, hey, he'll get into training first. They'll not send him directly to the field, You hand over the gun, okay, go, shoot. So this does not happen like that. But she was just not ready. She said, no, he's my little boy, and he cannot even speak properly. So I said, oh. He said, no, he can now speak. So I was always considered like, a kind of guy who's not really up to the mark kind of thing. So that actually added to my favor, because the expectations are mostly nil. That he's actually not really good for anything as such. Most of the time he's all lost in his own world. And that is how I got into the habit of reading books and all.
So that you didn't go to that. Was it approved? You were selected and then you didn't?
Yeah, I was. So that was a pretty hectic task, and the best part was that when we went there, and I could not even do my physical complete. So I just do it midway, and I just as much as I could do well, I did well, and then I just came back. And in one of the tasks, suddenly, one of my colleagues, he just fell. And I just kind of lifted him up. I said, okay. So the fellows, they were saying, oh, you loser, you are picking him up. Oh, run, you need to finish up the race. I said, no, that's okay, but you just cannot leave him alone just like that. So I came last actually.
Right.
And I was actually very, very confident that I'm not going to get selected.
Right.
So I just helped my friend. He was also, he was also pretty low. He said, oh, because of me. What were you thinking? You started lifting me up, and everyone, passed you, and you were running so well. I said, well, that's okay. It's okay. So then I just lifted him up. I didn't even, we were actually the last who completed the race, but we were together at least. So he was able to then walk a bit briefly. So at that point in time, there was some Subedar. So he had such a lovely mustache, those Subedar kind of mustaches, and he shouted, "What were you thinking?" Sir, actually I was not thinking anything. So he said, okay, then, and when we were sitting, so what they do is they make you sit inside first, and then they call out your chest. And then the people, so they'll pack up your bags, and they'll make you sit in the 3-ton. So that is a 3-ton. 3-ton is the name of the truck. Okay. So then they'll take the name of all the ones who were selected. They'll come with their bags out. Rest immediately you have to leave.
Okay.
So that is how they select. Oh. They used to select at my point in time. I guess the rule is still the same. So then I was again lost. I said, okay, if not army, then what will I do in life? I really wonder. So I was just lost in that, and then someone started nugging me. He said, go, it's your chest. I said, my chest? My chest?
My chest.
My chest is not really that. So I was just not ready for it. I said, no, my chest could have been broader, but SSB again is an option. He said, oh, bugger, what I think, Are, you got selected. I said, I got selected. By the time I realized the two names that was already crossed, and the Subedar was just looking at me with red eyes. What's wrong with you? Where are you lost? I said, oh, it's me. And then I was so happy. So then suddenly the things then fell that way. So when they then fall in line, so then what happened was then I was actually clueless. The same, I was literally in the same scenario when I was inside the 3 ton, thinking, okay, what has to be done now? I'm not really getting to the army because dad also said no. So mother is crying. But what exactly that I want to do in life?
But you got selected, no?
Yeah, but then you have to join.
Oh, right.
So you're selected, your call, and then they give you a stipulated time to join.
Okay.
So I could not join. So then the letter came and no,
Could not join.
that's okay. So then I started thinking, okay, then 10th happened. So after 10th, I was still clueless. Then I said, okay.
Oh, so the India selection happens when, like, so young?
Yeah, 10th, that is when you give your, 10th.
Okay.
So, and I, then at the same point in time, you get selected.
Right.
So you do your studies in NDA, that is how it goes.
Oh, then you do your studies in India.
College वगैरह सारा, हाँ, they take care of that. So उसके बाद क्या हुआ? Then 11th, 12th happened. So 11th, I thought, okay, my father used to own a Liberty showroom, shoe showroom. So I
Was
was
it the
like,
famous shoes at that time, Liberty?
yeah, they were just starting. So that at that point in time, Liberty shoes were a startup.
Oh, I said okay.
Yeah, so they were a startup, and PD Gupta and all those Gupta family, they used to be very close friends of my father. He said, no, I really have my trust in this brand, and that is when I realized, okay, brand Liberty, okay. So, but then they really made good quality shoes. And that is what I realized. I said, and that is what keeps them far apart from the other players in the market. They were slightly high in the price, but then I realized, no, the quality is way higher than the price actually. And then I also realized that if you really have good quality, people don't mind paying. Because the life, I had worn like Liberty shoes for ages. They don't really, you get bored of them. They just don't get torn off. अरे यार कितना पहनोगे यार, मतलब 4 years, 5 years, you wear them daily, they'll be even, they'll stay with you. So that is what I realized, and then father was like, okay, we'll make him sit in the shop. So that is randomly, then some friend suggested me, if you want to sit in the shop, you should not go for science. I said okay, but I always wanted to study biology. I said okay, then your mother father's advice goes like this, the advice of your friend, straight to the point. He said, no, if you are going to sit in a shop, then you should go with commerce.
Right.
So I said,
Makes
that
sense
makes a lot of sense. Right. Yeah, I'll not be able to do anything if I'll choose science. Right. So that is how I chose commerce. And then after doing commerce, then I did my 12th. Then after 12th, I was like, okay, BCom. What next? So then someone, my father's friend, he was just having a discussion. He said, my son did BCA. That's computer application. So with the commerce, you can also do BCA, Bachelor's Computer Application. So it's a combination of computers and commerce. So I was actually clueless. I said, okay. What I had in my mind was, I'll get and I'll apply for IIM SSB, and then let's try. So army was still there in my mind somewhere, short service commission and all those things. So, but then I got it through. There was a small college there in Kathgodam, the KIIT. Now it does not even exist anymore. Yeah, so that was affiliated by Kumaon University, Nainital. So that is where I did my college. Simple, very, very slow life, pathetically slow. I mean, Kathgodam was not even a town at that point in time. Just couple of houses and all in the lap of nature, and such a beautiful place. And and that is where the mountain range starts. When the zigzag road starts, so that is right there at the foothill. And there is a Gola river. That's also there. So we used to, my college and hostel friends, we used to have great fun. That is where I actually learned, how you actually swim in a mountain river.
Oh, it's
And the swimming techniques are very, very different.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, what could you tell us?
Because you see the current is so fast
yes.
that if you do it very, very fast, then you will get tired.
Tired, huh?
So you have to continuously breathe.
Breathe, huh?
Breathe, and your technique should be such that you're there, but you're not getting tired. You're continuously breathing because the body needs oxygen.
Right.
At the same point in time, you really have to cut the current of the water. So that is how I realized, that okay, and then suddenly, when I started after learning swimming there, when I used to swim like a steamer inside the swimming pool. I was like, because the water is still
Right.
out there in the river, the water is gushing down. So a lot of cases, the waves happened, and then we also used to see, we used to see the color, and with the color, then you recognize that if it's deep or it's not deep.
Okay.
Because then, the best thing is, you jump from the cliff, and that's the best thing that you can do in your life. So for few seconds, you're in the air and you just feel like a Superman, and then you're inside the water.
Aquaman.
So yeah,
Superman to Aquaman.
Superman to Aquaman. And then that is when I realized that it's very, very important, because then suddenly it rained, and the entire topography changed. And I was about to take a dive, and my friend stopped me, and he was a local. He said, no, you see the color is very light green. So it was dark green day before yesterday, and that is how observant he was.
Okay.
And that is how I realized, it's very important to be observant.
Right.
I said, okay. So, and he just told me, you don't jump, because I find then the topography has changed, because there's a sledge that comes.
Right.
And the thing which looks deep might not be deep anymore. By the time we were talking, there was some other person who just pushed us aside, and he just jumped and he broke his leg. Because it was really shallow. Now, if you take a dive from 20 feet, and you need that depth as well.
Right.
So that is what oh my God, it would have been me. So that is how I started noticing things. These are small things in life, which actually everything in life teaches you something. So that is how my college life went.
No, I want to take you back. Since you had such personality, so huge, so good look, I'm sure there were a lot of ladies who would want to be with you. No?
Yes. So the lady thing that happened, yes. So when I was in first year in college, so I was really, because I could not get into the army, so I was really kind of hopeless. I said, you just have to pass this one up. So suddenly I was not really interested in as per studies and all. I said, okay, that's okay, part of life. So usually what happens to the first year students, either they are very much into it or they are completely off it. And then my chachi came. So she came to meet me. And that was another hilarious episode I still remember. So she came to meet me in the hostel, and she came and someone told me, okay, your chachi is here. So I said, oh, okay. Then I came, and just like you're sitting, I sat beside her. I said, hello. She said, hello. Can you please call Bunny Nishant Pande? I said, I am Nishant Pande. That's me only, chachi. I said, what's wrong with you? So, all beard. I started eating pan masala and her hair all there.
Right.
So she just could not recognize me. She said, what's wrong with you? It's gone so thin and lean. What are you doing? I said, nothing. So she said, okay, I'm staying here. Now tomorrow there's one marriage of chachi's of relatives. So it was from her side. So she said, now you need to come to marriage. For us, marriage means good food.
True.
When you are in hostel, you never say no to good food.
Yeah.
We used to even go to marriages where we were not even invited for the paneer and Well, we never used to give lifafa. Used to be somewhere someone's relative.
Right.
You know, because in Uttarakhand, it's very possible that you are some distant relative. So that is the garb of that distant relative. We used to go and have food. We had been caught by my coordinator in one of such. Then that is the reason I stopped shaving and the beard grew. Because we used to really get in that gear all neat and tidy. You just need to have confidence. And we were like set of all our hostel buddies. What we used to do, we used to enter from different times. And and when you go to the marriage, what you do actually so that you don't get recognized is you greet each other. So like, aha, hey,
Acha.
the way, like this way you're greeting your room partner only.
Okay.
Aha, hey, Dheeraj, hey, Amit, hey, how are you? And you're hugging. So no one really bothers. They are here.
Right.
They are so confidently they are doing it. Come, let's have some food. Come, let's have some food. I say, yeah, the plates are there. They said, yeah, I'll deal it. I'll deal with it. So that is how confident we got with passing time. However, it happened that one of the marriages we were attending, unfortunately, that was a day scholar's sister.
Okay.
And we were not aware.
It's okay, no?
No, but we were not in good terms with that day scholar.
Okay.
And our hostel warden was also there.
Okay.
So we reached there by 9 in the night.
Okay.
And we just went and, so somehow, something I just relate to that 3 Idiots thing,
Yeah.
So the person, exactly that actually happened with us. And, so we were just having, with both the hands, we were having all paneer, naan and all chawal and dal and whatever. We just could take it in, zindagi hona ho kal dobara, as much as you can just hog. So that is when my warden's wife, she came and she saw me sometime in some of the performances in the college. He said, "Are you Nishant Pande?" So yeah. I said, "Ma'am, good evening, ma'am." "No, ma'am, I'm not Nishant Pande." She said, "No, you're Nishant only. Yeah, how come you're omnipresent? I just saw you in the couple of hours back in the college, and you were supposed to, you were doing something, right?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." So I was just trying to focus how to get rid of her, and by the time, one or two friends, they came, with that girl, hey, hello Nishant, how are you? How come you are here? Oh, this is so good to meet you. And she said, "Oh, what are you doing here?" Then she kind of caught. So then we said, "Ma'am, we just get to leave." As soon as we turned around, right at the entrance, our coordinator and warden was standing. He said, "What's the hurry to leave?" Sorry, sir. No. So once again, got all left, right, and center. You should be so much shameful. What about your family? You're from such a good family, and you're eating food like as if you do not get food. Say, no, it's okay. Because what our cook used to do, he never used to waste anything.
Okay.
Whatever food used to be left, he used to mix it up in next day's food. So, even if you have to have, let's say, chole on Monday, you'll find that pieces of chole even on Wednesday's dal.
Oh my God.
So he never used to waste anything. He was a very good cook. So that is what made us, let's have something fresh. So then we got scolding like anything. He said, "Now, how many of you are there?" Then he just kept counting. So we were more than 10.
Okay.
He said, "My God, you've come from Kathgodam to Haldwani. How come? I don't believe you came all the way walking." Then suddenly when we were out talking, then one of our friends we had booked an auto.
Okay.
That is an M80 auto. So there's a small auto, where normally only 4 people can sit. Then he said, then the auto came, in that style. He said, "Chane bhaiya." I said, "Arey yaar, just ignore, just say you don't know us." He said, "Bhaiya, aiye, baithiye." Because he was on hired, he was in hired auto. He used to pool money, he used to give him like 30 rupees. He used to pool like 2 rupees. Or 15 people, 2 rupees becomes 30 rupees. So at that point in time, you're like 12. So we were like 3 rupees. We contributed 36 rupees for 1, 2 and fro. So he said, "Now everyone get inside. I want to see how 12 people can sit
Sit in the auto.
inside the auto, which only can accommodate 4.
Right.
Then all of us, we one by one, one by one, one by one. Then we reached there. I got a huge battering from him. So then I stopped going to the marriages. So I said, okay, marriage time is over now. And enough of parties. So that then Kaki invited me. I said, no, this is one of the legal marriages that you can possibly go. So let's go. In that marriage.
You got your friends also for the marriage?
Yeah, but my friends, they were really shivery. They said, no. You really don't know, somehow that warden is also related and he also comes. He will not even trust us. So you just go alone by yourself. So that is, when in the marriage, I met, that is when I saw Kripali for the first time.
Oh, so
yeah.
Akka was your first?
Yeah.
Oh my God, okay.
So, but, that is what the first time I saw her and I just had this kind of feeling, okay, this is the one. But I don't know what made me think that way. She looked at me, who's this shabby guy?
Right.
And I was like, I don't know, all floored and all sparkles in the eyes. Wow. So, she was a relative of my chachi. That is, love at first sight. Gone. Gone. So that is, immediately something just stuck inside. Some chord stuck that, she's the one. And then I held on to that thought. So then she was in 10th standard. I was in first year, so I was kind of embarrassed. Oh my God, what has happened? Okay, but then too, it's okay. I said, no, this time you give your boards any which ways. We will be in the same kind of age group.
Now, how did you ask her out? Like, you just met her?
I couldn't even ask her out.
Okay.
So I was so short of money at those days, So we started, I didn't have even that much money that I can take her out for date. So the best way is, as a relative, I started going to her place to meet her. And her mother...
But she was aware you liked her?
Yeah. She
that?
had this kind of inkling. Initially, she used to address me as Bhaiya.
Achha.
Then slowly I tell her, don't call me Bhaiya. My name is good enough. Without Bhaiya in it, you don't have to prefix Bhaiya in it. So then she got the hint of it. She said, okay. Then she tried to hook me with few of her friends, but I just couldn't budge. Then I used to like to going to her place because, same thing, food, good food. So whenever I used to go to her place, her mothers used to care for me so much. And she said, oh my God, you're in hostel. Oh. And she was very close to my chachi, her mother. And they are closely knit. So she is her bua. So that from her side. So that way, so she used to take me as a family member with wrong intentions later on. She so I used to go to meet her at her place only. Then slowly everyone came to know that okay, this bugger has some different kind of a feeling. So then, but that was fine, But I used to go. I used to eat a lot, and I used to sit with her to chat a lot, and then used to come. Those days were we used to have landline. But for the landline, you need to have money.
Right.
So then she was the one who asked us, who asked me at some day, why do you keep on coming shamelessly to my home? Take me out somewhere, in some restaurant.
Right. Oh, said,
that's a very good question, but I'm a little short of money, you see, because at that point in time I used to smoke as well. So she said, no, money is not about me. I have money. I said, absolutely, let's go. Then there was a beautiful restaurant out there. Now that's known as Lee's Kitchen.
It's still there?
Yes, still there. When we went, after many years we went then he recognized us. Then when we went with our daughter, he still recognized, and now the cook is so old. Achha. He said, I give you those momos which you like. I said, yes. Just don't die, okay? He said, no, I'll not die. I'll make good food for you. But he used to take too much of time. So we used to love that, But the longer he takes, we used to like, okay, the longer we can spend time together. So we used to go and, by that ways, we used to order a couple of things when she used to pay. Then after when she paid for one or twice, then she said, okay, you also pay some time. I said, oh yes. Then what I used to do is, I got this habit of, I collected money from my friends. I said, okay, but you have to return it back. I said, no, this is just for the show.
Sure.
So actually I used to carry, I had 100 rupees, but with 5 people I used to asked for 100.
Ah.
So I had like 600 rupees.
Oh.
So then I said, okay, you can have whatever you want to have. What would you like to have? I bad tummy problem. I'll just have a coffee. Coffee, 25 rupees. Coffee. She said, okay, then I'll also have coffee. But I'll have cold coffee. Yeah, you can have. So the calculator was on back in the behind. I said, yeah, that's okay. 50 rupees. Still, we have got leverage of 50 rupees. No, you can have something also. Without trying to act very pricey, still you have nothing. Then when the bill used to come, so her bill used to come like a good 150, 170, 180. My bill used to come like 55, 40.
Right.
So I used to give my wallet to her. So like, you pay.
You pay. Oh.
Yeah, you take this wallet, you pay.
Oh
And then
my
she used
God.
to open it. Oh my God, you got so much money. Yeah.
Oh my God, Anna. Your proper movies.
So that is how I used to. Then that is, she caught me later on. At one point in time, she just plugged out 2 leaves, 100 rupees leaves. Said, "Can I keep this?" And I said, no. Then she had this habit of catching me up. So then she knew me. So those were the days. And I used to tell her, one day you'll see, I'll pay you all off. One day. So that is how we've been consistent. And then then she used to, we used to spend good time, that ways only. And at that point in time, you really do not have much places to go. So restaurants was the only thing the way you can date. And being there, from there, was such a small place that you really don't want to get visible that much. So we dated, and then when my college happened, so my father had a very, very bad loss in business. So he got his hands on in brass exports, and somehow it even impacted his Liberty business.
Okay.
Then he was in dire problem. So I said, okay, not an issue. So any which way, so my third year was a bit tough financially, but then somehow I managed to complete it. And immediately in August, I guess just after leaving college in 2 months, I got into call center. That was an era of call center. So call center I got through and started earning because I had to take care of myself. So dad, he had a place, his own. He said, okay, you just take care of yourself. That is more than sufficient. Later on, I came to know that the losses, they were way too high.
Okay.
So then I had to. So I started my salary started by paying off the loans.
Right.
So that was pretty tough point in time at that point in time. But that was, always there's a silver lining to it. So I always had Kripali. So she got through college. When I was out of college, she got into college. She got into she wanted to go for the medical thing, but just because the reservation thing, though she scored really well. But at that point in time also there was a partition of Uttarakhand from Uttar Pradesh.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of problems at that point in time also. And so she could not get through a medical college. So she had to, go into a veterinary college. But she went for it and she went all out. And really, I really admire, because once you have got your mind and heart to something, but that is what nature is, and that is what the universe has something else planned for you. So that is how it went. So that is slowly started building up. But right from the day I got into college, I somehow could not connect with this job thing. Though I knew that this is very necessary for me. But I had this thing in my mind that, okay, this is just not working out. And that was way back in 2003.
2003. Okay.
So 2003, then my friends, colleagues, and your friend's advice goes.
Right.
My friend says, you just work. Just work. After 3, 4, 5 years, then you will get adapted to it. You will adapt to it. I said, yeah, sure. Then changed few jobs. Went to Bangalore for a while. Then came back. Went to Jaipur for a while. Had a blast in Jaipur. Made good friends. It was such a lovely place. I wanted to settle down in Jaipur. You see, somehow I just could not connect with the job. I said, what is this? I mean, it's 9 to 5 is, and always, there is, you're just doing something which is actually not that much meaningful. I somehow I had this thing, and that that small, that small fire was always on. What the hell are you doing? But I was doing considerably well in my job role, and whatever job was given to me, I did exceedingly well. So I got good raise. There's no harm in it. I got into G. Then after G, I got
What is
into
G?
General Electric.
General, oh, G, okay.
Yeah, G, General Electric, and after that, then it became Genpact. After that, so I was hired for GE. Then Genpact happened, and then when I used to listen to the MD, because I used to attend the town halls, wherein they'll give the vision, what they want to do, where is it that they want to take the company. I really used to relate to that thing. But my colleagues were like, why are you wasting time? Man, those are the big talks. How can you even comprehend what they are saying? I know somehow I'm able to understand what they are really saying. Where is it that they want to go, and how they are connecting the growth with the economy, how they are connecting everything with everything, how they are stitching it through. So I said I like it. But most of the time what used to happen that Nishant, he'll sit all through the town hall. So let's avoid the town hall only. So let's before the town hall start, they used to take me out for a cup of coffee, a cup of tea. Now let's hang out and let's smoke. Chai sutta maro, badhiya hai. So I was like, okay. Then I used to listen to the recorded, recorded versions, and I was like, this thing actually makes sense. Then the recession happened. Then I was even more keen, because when recession happened, Genpact was one of the very few companies that were still in profit.
Okay.
And how the MD and the chairperson at that point in time was Pramod Bhasin. So Pramod Bhasin and Tiger, how they foresee it and how they shared it with us, that was something very remarkable. It's very, very learned, very, very sharp fellow. But to the core, what I found, you can even say something which is really brilliant or something which is absolutely simple. They're one and the same thing. That is what I realized. He was very, very basic. He said, no, now we can see the trends. The things are falling. They are not getting the banks, the losses. Banks are incurring losses. People are not able to pay off their loans. So that is not a good sign. So perhaps we need to pull our strings up before the time goes wrong. And the steering, we lose the steering control. I said, yeah, right. That's absolutely right. And my friends are like, what is this recession all about? It will never even, you don't worry. I said, no, recession is going to come. And that is when the first recession came. And, yeah, so that is when I really corrected. I said, okay, you just have to see the trends. And, and those corporate things, they really are, in a way, they discipline you. But still, I just could not connect. So then from I became a G. From G, from the call center, I got because when you stay in a good organization, you get to the flavors of different departments as well. So I moved from a call center, which is Dell at that point in time. I've moved into analytics, HR also for a short span of time. I thought HR is not at all my cup of tea. But when I used to interview, I just have to give one laugh and the candidate used to go all bonkers.
Is it?
So, oh, what are you thinking, man? Do you think you're getting selected here? Why are you wasting your time? Do something good. My manager was, Nishant, you cannot talk to him like this.
Is it?
You're not his coach. What are you doing? I don't know. I'm just telling him, this is what are you doing and do something meaningful in your life. You're just doing job for the heck of it.
Right.
Where will it take you? He said, no, you are not this career counselor, Nishant. Then I was from front end interview, I was put into back end interview. Then I was, from even there I was removed. I said, okay, you don't interact only. Whomsoever you meet, you're like, okay, what all can you do? What all can you do? What all options do you have? He said, okay, you do one thing, you just manage the data.
Right.
So I was into data. I got into reports and all. That is what interested me in making MIS reports and all those things. And that kind of raised my interest. And I got into analytics. So when I got into analytics, then I got very good mentors. They taught me analytics and all, everything. And then slowly I was hired by Max Life as an MIS expert.
What is an MI?
MIS is Master of Information Science. So, making all those reports and all. And The best part was when I got my laptop and I sat and I said, okay, so what is the data that we have to make reports for? They said, no, you gathered the data. I said, as in, you set it up. You set up the entire MIS. So I literally started from the scratch. And literally right from zero. But that is how you learn. And when you work so hard to make something stand. And then my manager used to be very much, tired of me. He was a senior 8 fellow. And we had a massive, generation gap, mindset gap. We had all the gaps in our life, even mentality gap. They were like, why are you like this? I said, no, why are you like this? Yeah, leave it. What would you do? Yeah, I really wonder why have you wasted so much of your life? And we used to be very candid while talking to each other. I said, no, it's not. I have not wasted my life, but you certainly are wasting your life. What are you doing? And he said, no, you don't dare to counsel me, okay? So that is when one of these things, and I suddenly after a while then I got married also. When I was in Genpact, I got married to Kripali.
Talk us about in your marriage. You said no dowry, nothing like that. So how does a Uttarakhand marriage happen?
That was so. Uttarakhand marriage happened. How it happened was, I asked her, okay, it's time. So she got graduation. Her graduation was 5 years. So we did courtship. Ran for around. I waited for like good 9 years. So 9 years we dated. Then 5 years. So almost 14 years. So after the graduation, then my father was still alive. So we went to her place, Kripali's place. And then my mother, being absolutely at the forefront, she said, okay, we want Kripali to get married to Nishant, and we have decided. So her parents were like, okay, thank you for informing us. So she is the only daughter. So what Papa used to say is, just say this thing, no, she needs to study.
Right.
And that is the only thing that he said, and which I really feel so good about. That is the only demand that he put across. He said, anything that you, my parents are like, no, okay, that's fine. That's a good thing. She should study. So perhaps then they looked at me. You also do your masters at least. I said, and I need to pay for my own masters, no? So this is not possible. But then we got married. And when we got married, she pursued her masters. She pursued her masters after a marriage. So and that is when I realized, because it's very important, because I never wanted this thing to be a correspondence kind of thing. So, and all of us are very clear about it. But once the marriage thing happens, then the relatives and all that pressure. So we never even bothered about that pressure. So initially we visited to each relative. Everyone was like, oh, finally you are married, no? I said, yeah, finally we are married. So, but she's going for a master's. So a few other relatives said, no, what is the need to do masters now? She wants to do it, it's a good thing. So then she qualified, and she got through the test and all, and she got her choice of this thing, which is this one.
Yes.
Compliment. You've spoken so much. I need to have something. So that is when she pursued her studies, and that is when I realized that is a big responsibility. Then the business got so bad, and the losses got so bad that even he has to sell his shop. Then at that point in time, I was also at the starting of my career, and then I was in Jaipur, and then what happened was, then we realized that father and mother, and then she was the one who said, no, why don't you take them with you? So I said, okay. So I asked my room partners, I said, okay, my parents, they'll be coming with me. They were like, there used to be parties that used to happen.
Right.
Booze parties and all, smoke and hookah bar. So my parents are coming, do you want me to shift out, or what do you want me to do? They said, that's okay, because when they've come, we found them very chilled out. So if they are comfortable, even we are comfortable.
Right.
So that is when my parents also shifted with me. But financially, there was a lot of problems. And I also started realizing that no matter how much I work, I do, this thing does not really reciprocate in the same manner. I said, no, yeah. But then I dropped my plans. I said, no, right now, even if I'm thinking to do something of my own, this thing will not click because there is again responsibility that is on my shoulders. But that fire was still on. So that, then Kripali came, and then we were in Gurgaon. And Gurgaon is an expensive place to be in. And the rentals and all these are pretty high. So, but in order to, then I realized, slowly and slowly, what I'm doing is I'm just surviving. And then I started, thinking of what to do. That is when I was all in confusion that what to do in life, what really goes next now. The only thing that you wanted in life was to get married to her. Now you're even married. You even have a lovely daughter. Now what you want to do? You need to think about it. So then Kripali only said, this said, if you do not have anything to do, then you study. So that's the best thing that we do. In Uttarakhand, that is, don't have anything to do, go study and go get back to the books, get back to school. And that is the best way one can be, get back to the basics. So that is when I enrolled myself. I applied for IIM's Calcutta. IIM's Calcutta because my parents were also, dad he passed away in 2006. And then that is how I applied for it. And then with this corporate help, I was able to get the recommendation because luckily the CEO was also IIM's Ahmedabad.
Oh, okay.
So he told me how to write a recommendation letter and all and all. So 1 year I did intensive, and I studied actually.
With your job, you did?
With the job.
Oh, you can do
At that point in time, luckily what happened was the merger was announced of Max Life and HDFC. So everything got so jittery inside Max Life that everything kind of stopped for a while.
Yeah, bas bhaiya. Thank you.
So, ये ले जा बेटा. Thank you. So that is when I realized, let's get back to the basics. And so most of my colleagues, they were doing it for the brand of IIM's Calcutta. However, I studied the books.
Okay.
I actually studied. So my tenant, my landlord, he was really good. He was such a good man that he gave me even a basement room to study.
Okay.
He said, okay, you can study here because you have your daughter, and I don't want things to get disturbed. So I was really thankful for him. Still I am. And then that is how I studied. And it really didn't matter, what course will come or what will come in the test. Because I was pretty clear, I am here to study, so study.
Right.
Or whatever book, if you are exhausted with marketing, pick up sales. Tired with sales, pick up economics. There's so much to study.
You enjoyed studying, I think.
Yeah.
The knowledge gaining there.
You see, there's so much to know. And that is what really, made me so much interested. And I really fell in love with the books. And one thing more I tell you, when I met Kripali, in the college time, so when we met in the marriage and all, then suddenly I got good with else I was the second division holder in 12th. I did mercilessly bad in my studies because I read Ayn Rand Fountainhead. So I was like another Howard Rock. It does not even matter to me. I was like, oh my God, and that really impacted my studies. So suddenly I was good in studies, and that is how it continued. But after 2003, then I got back to studies in 2016. And that is when I went to IIM's campus and when I interacted with the professors. Then that was when I realized, no, this is not how it should be. That is what I personally think. When you're doing Masters of Business Administration, you should be in business. Yeah, but ultimately, business administration does not mean that you do your MBA as for the MBA and then you do a job for someone. That is not what the intent core is. Right now, that is what is very ironical that I found is, most of the people who were coming there, they were coming for the degree. What is there in the degree? And they were showing scores and they were trying to grab jobs.
Right.
Not as a stepping stone.
Right.
They were grabbing jobs as a lifetime career. No, getting jobs, and because I started my career at a very, very low level. As an associate, call center associate level, my salary was 5,500 and I was happy. I was like contented. I said, my God, I just have to pay rent of 2,000. Oh wow, 3,500 I'm going to save. So my HR was like, she said, is this your first interview? You're not even negotiating a salary. I said, can we negotiate a salary? She said, my God, no, you cannot. This is done. I said, okay. So I was that innocent, initially. And so I was like, because I was so desperate to get a job because I didn't had any money coming from the home. And my brother had his own aspirations. And he said, you better get off my shoulders. So I was like really keen to get on my own thing. So that is when this thing happened. But that was the turning point when I studied. I was actually studying with the thing which they even process that they will not come in the next exam. Well, that's fine.
Right.
I just need to pass the exam. And it's easy to pass the exam.
Right.
But if you want to score good, score like that in that percentile, then it becomes a different ballgame altogether. Right. But I was never after the score because I realized in the college only that even after scoring that much, no one even looked at my scores during my interview.
Right.
They were actually looking at me. What is it that I have to say? I said actually, scores is something which is not a right evaluation criteria. So that stayed with me. This thought stayed with me, and with that thought, even my colleagues, they used to laugh at. They said, my God, day after tomorrow we have our exam and of economics, and you are studying marketing. I said, no, this is such an interesting chapter. Do you see this? No, wow. I tell you, no, just don't tell. We just don't want to. Okay, I said, okay, I find it very interesting. I'm studying it. So I used to study what I like. Then yes, for the exam thing, just the day before I used to study, study that much that you can pass the exam. And I passed all the exam. There was no back. And then I used to interact with the professors. And when I spoke to a couple of professors, there was one from the Uttarakhand as well, Professor Pant. So I said, you've studied, your professor here, why don't you do something there? Why are you teaching? I mean, it's good that you're a professor, but still.
You told the professor.
I asked the professor as a question.
Yes.
He said, so far no one has questioned me.
Yeah, right.
I'm a professor, I am Calcutta, Nishant. I understand that. So that is okay. But I just wanted to know, what made you... He said, no, who would really... I don't want to go back to the village and, waste my life. That is what really pinched me the most. I said, no, what is there to waste in your life? I mean, you should not... you should have gratitude. Still, you hail from there. What is it that you are giving back? So he said, no, I don't think that way is, out here I get so much of an exposure. I have my own thinking, so you cannot really, if you think that way, then why don't you do something about it? So that is something that really hit me hard. I said, yeah, even I didn't thought that, yeah, that's right. So he said, so what is it that you want to do? Then I thought, no, perhaps I'll do something which might create some employment and something good for the people. He said, then go for it. I said, yeah, that's right. So that is when this thing again got into, but I was still not so sure about everything, because suddenly when you are going great guns in the corporate, suddenly if someone asks you, because with this degree also, what comes along with this attached is great job offers.
Oh, is it in your own?
Yeah.
Okay.
In corporate, you are in the middle management, you get a degree, a stamp of IIM Calcutta, then you are ready to roar. Then you ask for your price.
Oh, okay.
And since it was, we had a good score. I scored by chance. I scored well also. So
How much did you score, Anna? Don't be humble.
I scored. I passed all the ones. I don't even remember my score, but I just know that when I took my degree to my CEO, he was like, I never knew you were good at it. Oh, this is good. This is good. It was slightly low, but this is good, man. This is good. You did good. So immediately I got good promotion in Max Life.
Right.
My manager Amit Mangla, he was very happy. My CEO Prashant Tripathi was equally happy. Though both applauded, but still something was just not placing up. Now, at that same point in time, when you're in such a kind of a dilemma, and somehow I used to always script to Kripali, after dinner walks. I said, yeah, my manager is such a dumb fellow. He does not even understand this thing. So, my God, you're always complaining, even if your manager changed, still you are complaining.
Right.
So was it that you want to do in life? I said, I don't know. Maybe something what Pant sir has told me, I really don't know. At this point in time, I really don't know where is the life going. Now this was exactly the time when when you need the most and when you're clueless. Suddenly I used to go to the offices. I used to sit in front of my laptop, done the reports. I still used to just keep on looking at it. I said, where is the life going? Life is not happening. Then suddenly, one of my good friends, he came to me and said, hey, did you saw this quote? This and a really cool old fellow. Is the name of Sadhguru. And he's, have you read his quote? I said, what quote? Who the hell is Sadhguru? He said, he's a very cool dude. Let me tell you that. So that is how my first introduction of Sadhguru was done. Sadhguru, cool dude. Okay, I said, okay. And read his quote, and I read his quote. He said, no, your life is your making. I said, yeah, that is exactly what I was thinking.
Right.
So, and that is how, when you need the most, slowly, even Kripali got into job and everything was started happening financially after Anya was born. Then things got way better financially. But still, there was something which was empty, which was just not getting right. That is when we thought that. I said, okay, I don't know where life is going. Tripali said, I don't know. After talking to you after such a long time, you're cribbing every day. Even I've started having the same thing. I said, yeah. Then sometime YouTube video happened.
Right.
So I said, but then I told her, I said, you listen to this old dude, Sadhguru, and he speaks so well. You listen to him. She also started listening.
Right.
And that is what happened, 2018, so not really going, everything was going as it should be,
Right.
as it should have been. And that is when inner engineering happened.
Right.
And inner engineering happened, oh God. Those 4 days we went for retreat.
Right.
And no, here in Delhi center. And I was gone. Then I realized now there is, oh man, I mean we were back in action. We were like, okay, now okay, Matrix and Keanu Reeves comes out of that Matrix. Said, oh, everything is Matrix. Okay, no, this is not real. So then that is when we realized, and slowly after 2018 we did our practices and all. And that is slowly, gradually. Then I had this thing in my mind as well. So I tried few other things to do before this one. And then I tried, doing MLM as well for a while. I said, that is how they show you tick, 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 tick. And you say, oh my God, this is big money. They say, yeah, this is big money. You can use it, it's very easy. I say, easy? Okay, let's give it a shot. So I gave it a shot, but it was not really worth it, just like all other MLMs. I said, no, I really do not have my heart and soul to it. So let me do something really meaningful. Then suddenly, what came to our rescue was the lockdown.
Lockdown, okay.
That was such a beautiful time of my life. When I read so many books, and you're actually spent so much of time with Anya also. We had good family time together daily. We're doing lunch and dinner daily.
Right.
So you can literally hope for these things.
Right.
But that also started making one thing. Why is it not possible? And you have to realize, that is, when you start losing your near and dear ones, that is also you realize life is really fragile. You are after something with all your heart and mind, but actually you just go off poof. That video of Sadhguru, yeah, just not even a speck of dust. Just actually no one. So when that realization came, then I said, no, okay, let's live life in our own terms. So, and Kripali was always supportive. She said, okay, fine, go for it. So then that was good time when I did my research. So then 2 years, 2 years lockdown, then again lockdown, good time. I did my research. Then at one point in time, I was also thinking to open up Isha Life, shop as well. That is the easiest thing to do. So, but then too, I said no. That I really want to make some impact at the grassroots level. That is when I realized, let's get into something wherein there is a lot of, lot of demand for authentic and pure. Now, authentic and pure, and at that point in time when you do not really have that much of budget, what I could possibly think of was woollens. Because in woolen, even if you Google it out, it's 95% is fake, and that is the easiest thing to do. You just be genuine. That's it. Just be genuine. Just be pure. Rest everything will be taken care of. And I never thought about it that ways that I'll be aiming to make this much big that ways. And I was also volunteering at that point in time.
Okay.
So when you volunteer, you also you do, and you get to know so much about the programs and all. So when I volunteered, I also realized that Sadhguru was he spoke in one of the ways that in one of the things that the money is required. And money is required to you see the ashram and you see everything. You're like, oh, very good, but everything requires money. And for the upkeep, for everything to happen the way it happens, even if they are volunteers, still so much of money is required. So that is what I was pretty confident, and I was ruling the corporate, so-called corporate. And I said, oh no, I have my colleagues. I'll volunteer. I'll raise funds for CSR and all.
Right.
That didn't fell in line at all. So was able to secure zero funds.
So you knew some of the very top level CEOs?
Yeah. Some very, very top level CEOs whom I approached, some very, very big brands, and who initially agreed as well.
Right.
Agreed that okay, they'll fund. I said okay, yeah, easy peasy. Yeah, that's it. Just have to reach to the right people. Tell them. You do not have to convince them so much. But that is where actually you go wrong, because eventually everyone thinks, what's in it for me? You cannot have everything in everything. What's in it for me is such a loose statement which I really disliked. But technically, I'll only do something if it's of benefit to me. I mean, that is not how the life thing works. What is there, what's in it for me is what's happening outside. You see the pollution.
Right.
So the pollution, what's in it for me? What can it do to me? You bloody die. You die of lung cancer. So that is something which really kind of didn't rang a bell. And that is how I decided, no, let me do one thing. Let me get into this one. So they didn't pay.
Yeah.
So then that was when I thought, okay, why can't I, instead of begging for it, let me earn it. So because then there would be no questions about, why you're doing, what is it that you're doing, and all that kind of jazz. So that is when I thought that, okay, let me float my own company. With that intent of,
Let me just check if I started or something. Sometimes I just don't know. Okay.
So that is when I thought, let me start off my company. Was and this company also, this was also, it came not as per the plan thing. So we went to Leh and went to see the artisans. I happened to be there at wrong time, wrong place.
Okay.
So I literally saw them suffering, and went to buy stuff from them, because they play authentic ones. So few of them, they were literally very, very down and very low. I said, no, what happened? He said, no, sir, actually we are the people who make. So you can take anyone. But I was more interested in talking to them. I said, okay, then what happened? So no, because we are still waiting for our payment for since 2 years.
Oh, okay.
So I said, why 2 years? I mean, you get paid, you make and you get paid. He said, no. We give them, we make stuff, then we give them. When they sell, then they make us the payment in parts.
Right.
So I said, okay, oh, all right.
Like these are big companies. So
Yeah, big companies, so big shots.
Right.
And they do not really pay them. And their dues are pending like 3-4 years. And they only give that much so that they can survive. And they will never flourish. So I said, okay, now this looks like something. So initially I thought, let me open up an NGO. And then I'll think of doing something in business. So then the artisans themselves said that you studied from IIM Calcutta, you are so learned. You do the business, no. You support us by.
Right.
And then when I was in dilemma, I got that, video played, Sadhguru's video played, you don't, when you really want to make a difference, what you do is you just do not think in terms of, what all can be done or what all, you cannot change the world. You do your bit. So I was like, okay. Then another video of Sadhguru said, when you really want to make a difference, then you have to work on it. Just get at the ground level, start working on it. And do not think too much about what will happen, that will happen, this will happen. Just go on for it. I guess that was the calling. I sat with them. They only taught me wool. They only taught me everything. But my thing was only very, very simple, let's make something pure and authentic and let's take it to the world.
Right.
And then they were literally that innocent to show it to me that how they really mix polyester and how they really mix cotton and all those pure woolens and all. And that was something so easy, because when you're weaving it, you just put in few threads of this and that, and the other person will not even come to know. And that is what really, when people say that, your every piece that you have, it speaks out for itself. It looks so genuine and pure, and that is the core of what we are, what we do. So in a way, what we are doing is, we do not really have any credit with the artisans. We do not take any credit. So we buy stuff, we pay them. 50% advance, you give us 50% next. So there's zero credit line with the artisans. Then with few of the bags that we have, so those bags we sell primarily to fund their kids' education and all. But that is part and parcel, because education is something which is really required. And simply what I did is, weave, Savetheweave thing. I simply copied Sadhguru's Savetheweave, placed it in the north.
What is Savetheweave? For someone who doesn't know, what is Savetheweave?
Savetheweave is, is when you really want to do, like in today's time, there's all machine woven thing. However, when you do it with hand, so with hand there is, when you really realize that something which is not perfect is really beautiful enough. There are human beings, who are just not perfect, but they look so good. In nature, they are saying, in nature there's not complete, there's no such thing as pure black and pure white.
Right. Okay.
So that is how it is. So it felt like more to blend with the nature, you accept the things which are not really perfect, and say, but imperfecto kind of thing.
Right.
But that is good in a way that, that is how hand weave is, when you literally, people who are not here actually illiterate.
Right.
and they with hand they weave everything.
Right.
They weave it everything, thread by thread, thread by thread, thread by thread. It's all woven, and you can see the alignment will never be perfect.
Okay.
So it would be slightly disaligned. The lines would not be straight. They'll be slightly up, slightly down, and that is what really makes it look normal. If you really go out for something which is absolutely perfect, then only universe will happen. So that is what really is the essence of wearing something which is pure, which is hand woven. And that thing is, you see the quality of products like Isha products. The quality is very good, and similarly, that is what I wanted to replicate. I wanted to make something which no one can question regarding the quality and the authenticity. Rest, for the upkeep of the studio and for the upkeep of their daughters and for my own expenses also, you need to have some money. So we keep a bit of markup for that. Rest, we ensure that what is not been compromised is the quality part. Because and that's the reason why with the quality and hand woven, so we are slow, we are kule kule. Kule kule means slow and steady.
Okay.
So with this we cannot gain that much speed. If you say okay 1,000 pieces, you say no, that's not possible. And that is when this another idea of conscious wear that came, and even in that exhibition out there in Coimbatore, we sold like anything. It was a blast, but we were continuously requesting, okay, now 2 is more than sufficient. Just wear these 2. It's okay. So that is what we have to realize.
That, like one thing I really like, I just want to bring that point back that you said no, you would only tell people to buy 2 and not more. Why do you say that?
You see, because there is no fun in unnecessarily in gobbling things up. Because there's a saying in Hindi, "Poot kapoot kahe sanche, kapoot poot kahe sanche." So sanche means you just keep on hogging everything. So I mean, there is no end to it. However, the conscious thing comes because when I was in even my school, so we used to have 2 pair of jeans, one black, one blue. 2 pair of socks, one black, one khatam. 3 pair of chaddis, 3 pair of banyans, and that is how it used to be. When you have limited, then only you realize the importance of it. And it's got everything to do with the way life should be seen. It does not matter. I mean, even Narayan Murthy sir, Infosys, he's such a big shot. He can own as big a palatial house as even Anil Ambani, Mukesh Ambani, sorry. So, but he lives in a 3 BHK. That is how it comes. It's not about whatever you can afford or what you cannot afford. It's all about how do you utilize these things. Ultimately, these are resources only.
Right.
So one person is doing everything. He is grasping up everything, hogging everything. The other person is just sitting. So it does not make any sense. So you wear. And that tradition, earlier that is what we have seen actually. That people used to have limited things, and limited, you be unlimited within yourself. That is okay, but with the things that you use, there should be a limit to it. Like like in Delhi, there's so much of pollution because out of the family of 4 people have got 5 cars, and this is a waste. At one point inside, you can always say, this car sale is happening, a lot of people are getting employment, but you should consume things consciously. That is very much important. And keep your mind right. I mean, you came all the way wrong by metro, right?
Right, yes sir.
So it makes a lot of sense to do that ways, and you could have come by the car all the way around from the car. No, you can afford a car, I'll go by car. You can. Even if you can afford a helicopter, you can even come by helicopter. But now imagine, I mean, if we get into the basics of everything, just because you can do it, does not mean that you should do it. Just because you have a lot of money, you can have 100 chapatis, you can order 100 chapatis, but you should eat 1 or 2 chapatis. That is sufficient, no? Only take what is sufficient. Otherwise, greed has no end to anything. And somehow these things have come into the picture because, the need and the greed thing. The need is getting bypassed by the greed thing, My wardrobe needs to be changed, my entire wardrobes, I keep on changing after every 1 year or 2 years. What's the need of changing wardrobe? I see a lot of times Sadhguru is wearing the same shawl. Because what really matters is as a person who you are. It really does not matter. Even if you see all the big people, they even wear unbranded clothes. It does not really go with that. But yes, whatever they wear, you are absolutely sure they are wearing absolutely pure cotton.
Pure cotton, right.
Absolutely pure woolen. And that is what really counts, because you should be comfortable in whatever you wear. And that is what really led to this conscious thing, because if you have to start something as a tradition, start right from the scratch.
Right.
Right from the point zero. So this thing is what I wanted thing to be associated with my brand. And that is, conscious buying. Conscious buying, consciously wear, consciously buy. And take, enjoy. I mean, once you touch the pashmina, I made you touch it, right?
Yes.
Once you touch the pashmina, once you touch these merinos, you will be elated. But that does not mean that you need to have 10 of these. It's okay. Just take one. Take another one for sister. That's okay. Perhaps you can barter.
Right.
There's no point. There's nothing wrong in bartering with your even mother-in-law. My wife and mother-in-law, they keep on exchanging clothes. So that's okay. No. So that is what is most important. You do not tend to waste just because you go to a restaurant just because you can afford it. You go for a Maharaja thali and half of the thali goes in waste. There are people who can literally survive on the food that you have wasted. So that waste has to be controlled, and that consciousness has to come from somewhere. So that is my way of perhaps requesting people with folded hands. Okay, great. I really feel gratitude and dress that you like my stuff. Take one or two. Sufficient. Go ahead. Just wear my brand. The other two people will come only.
Right.
They will come and see me, and really we have. That is what we target. We want to really grow in a conscious manner. Not suddenly, something got erupted and suddenly something happened, because that is not at all how things should be.
Right.
So that is what my conscious thing.
Beautiful, Anna. So how can this business grow? Is it let's say someone is watching it, is it by buying this or by sharing this content? What are a simple thing that they can do to promote, the Save the Weave? Or
you see, I think for promoting Save the Weave and for all these things,
and for your own brand like Kule.
Yeah, for the brand like Kule Kule, the most important thing is you give space. What I say, come and explore. So people come, they take time, they come to my studio. So this is basically a studio that I have. So I've got everything, all the collection is here. It's not that since they've come, they only have to buy pashmina. They've come, they only have to buy this thing. No, come and see for yourself. It's like, you make your choice. It's not that, you like in North, it's a saying, you read the entire menu, and the last you always order, Bhaiya chole bhature. So do not really have to go for chola bhatura. Leave chola bhatura aside.
Right.
So take a full menu, see for it yourself. And when your skin touches, if you are even aware by 1%, your skin will tell you that, okay, I really don't require pashmina, I want a merino. Okay, I do not require this one, I perhaps require an angura. So all these things, let your skin do the talking. You just have a feeler. So this is what we do. Customers come, then before we do any kind of sales talk, I make them, experience everything.
Right.
Then they themselves say, okay, I don't know, but I feel like going for this one. I said, yeah, then go for this one. They said, but this is that one is expensive, this one is not even expensive. What has it got to do with being expensive or no?
Right.
Expensive is nothing. What really matters is something that is pure. I mean, that is what should count, you know. It does not really matter that you need to have a mineral water of, you know, which is branded and which is very expensive, is only good for you. You know, even mineral water of any stream or any river can be equally good for you. That's okay. That is what the intent is.
Beautiful, beautiful, Anna. So, could you tell where this store is located, and if, like, do you also, like, let's say someone is not in Delhi or Gurgaon, is there an option to buy online, or let's say someone is in a foreign country, do you ship foreign also?
Yes, absolutely. So we are very close to the airport, and usually what people do is they can always they can connect with me on the WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is there, and you know, so our design patterns, they keep on changing, so they can always connect with me. We'll share with them, you know, whatever latest designs that we have. So that is the easiest way to do, you know, because most of the sizes that we have, shawls, stoles and ponchos and you know, all these ones, they are like free sizes.
Right.
Only when it comes to jacket, so jacket we have ensured that we make jacket in the size of the shirt.
Right.
So that is how we ensure that, you know, it's not really that complicated. So we make it simple. So jackets and also, they can always WhatsApp me. And the best way, what I say, you know, people, you know, from outside, they send someone to collect. We even deliver, right now even we have a delivery in the evening to the airport. So their relatives come, they pick this thing up. Oh. So that's the reason why we are near to the airport.
Right.
T2 and T3, they are pretty close by. So my boy goes there and he delivers to that person, and then they just carry it away. Also, but the best part, what I recommend is, you know, come see, you know, experience, and then buy.
Right. Beautiful. I just have a personal, you know, request to all the people, you know, when we go for marriages or when the gifting season happens, it's usually men get watches or, you know, so if people could give such, you know, products, it would be a huge support.
Yes, something which is, you see, pure and authentic, with the caveat that it has been done. The brand has been launched with a very strong purpose, and the purpose is, first, you know, obviously to fund my artisans, their daughters' education, Isha programs, which is very, very important. A part of it goes back to Isha, and fourthly, you know, conscious wearing. And that is what I would like to really promote. Okay, wear something which is pure, authentic, and consciously wear it. Very easy to maintain.
Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you for being in the podcast. Before I let you go and we have some awesome lunch, or anything last that you would like to share to the audience?
Yes, I really, what I would like to share is, you know, one should not get into this habit of stacking things up, because there's no end to it, you know, and that is, you know, and I myself practice this one, that I reduce my wardrobe, you know, and then when I reduce my wardrobe, I also felt a bit, you know, very easy, because it's like, you know, in the, you know, so there's known as Diwali cleaning that you do. Right. So you take the mess out. Similarly, it goes in life and in your personal life as well. So just like, you know, Diwali cleaning is done for the things that you don't really wear, it's good to give it away, because what you might wear some point in time, someone needs it so badly, because winters of Delhi, they are pretty biting cold. And, you know, it's always better, you know, you reduce your, let's say, you don't require, at one point in time, I used to have like 50-60 pants.
Right.
Now I have like 7. 5-7 is okay. So that, even I plan to reduce it, Kripali is just not agreeing to it, reduce it to like 3-4, it's absolutely fine. How many jeans do you want in life?
Yeah.
And give it all away. You know, it's always better to distribute, and when everyone feels good about it, and, you know, the person who really needs it, give it, and you will feel happy about it. So that is what I personally felt. Even my daughter, when she went, I made her donate lots and lots of her. She had like three almirahs of clothes she had. So now it's reduced to even just 2 sections. That's it. That's all about it. And that is the way life should be led. But whatever you have should be something class. It should be something pure and something that you really feel comfortable in. And not something that you really do not have to show off. But your skin should feel absolutely comfortable in it. And that's all about it.
Yeah, that's why I also decided to wear some that shirt while taking the podcast today.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Anna. I have a personal request to all the people. Please do share this podcast with your friends and family so that they also tend to lead a much more conscious life, because the dressing is something that we can never avoid in our life. We are always
absolutely.
wearing something.
And dressing somewhere reflects you only.
Definitely.
Whatever you wear, some way or the other is reflecting you only. So it's very important to wear the kind of person that you are. Yeah.
And being spiritual doesn't mean that you should not dress well. That's a misconception that we also need to.
Yeah. We don't love clothes. There's nothing wrong in it, but we wear consciously.
Yeah, wear consciously. So thank you so much, Anna. Thank you for being on board.
Sure.
Namaskar.
Thank you so much. I guess
Namaskaram, Nishant Anna.
Namaskaram. Welcome to Kule Kule, my studio.
Yes, let's see your studio, Anna.
Yes, please come. This is my studio. This is wherein we have a collection of merinos. This is all our collection of blends, various blends we have got. These are all our collection of capes. These are all designer capes. Here comes the Nalgi, which has been roaring success.
Can you show us one?
Yeah, certainly. So this is how it looks like. So you can. This is like Om Jal. When we say Om Jal, that means if you see very, very properly, you have to see consciously so called. Now you see there is constant Om, that is. Yeah, you see this? And this is very, very intricate. This art is known as Nalki Ari art, and this is very, very famous of Kullu. So this is of Om Nalki Jal out there. So this is very, very beautifully a heavy piece of work in this one. See.
Very beautiful.
Yeah. And this is what it looks on the back. So you can see the finish. This is very, very neat. So it takes time. Then we also have these jackets. These jackets, we have got these woolen ones like this. This is pure hand woven merino, and you can just touch the texture and you will see. This is very, very. This has got to be very, very soft because this is all hand woven. Everything is that we have is hand woven. Like these linen, pure linen. You just have to touch to know. Then even in the jackets we have this collection. Then we have blazers, men's blazers. So these are merino, pure merino, hand woven, and this wool is hand woven. That is the best part. And the blazers we've got different styles. These styles like these are round neck, which is closed neck, something like this, something like this.
Now winters are coming in there.
Yeah.
You can rock some.
Oh, they take care of all the winter. They can really take care of winters really well. Then we have got these designer ponchos. These are all our collection of anguras out here. These are all angura. Angura is also a goat, so you see. And see, this is. So this have to be, protected them with the dust, because pure wool, that is the problem with the pure wool, it really dislikes dust.
Okay.
So that is the reason why. So this is my entire collection. So besides the studio, this is my office.
Who is sitting there?
She is my baby. So she takes care of everything. So this is her, and with her grace, we are able to reach this far. And hopefully, we'll be father ahead. This is our boy. Namaskaram. So this is my office, and we kept same thing that we practice and we preach. Same thing as that we also preach here. So this is my office, and where we do all our business meeting and the entire strategies happen out here so that we can do well. Now let me show you inside. Inside is this is where most of the shoots are done.
Okay.
This is this golden place. Now inside this is where we have washing specifically for the ladies. And there's a water cooler, and this is where our workshop is. So this is studio come workshop come everything. Where we have all the creation that you see outside. Somehow it happens here. These are the bags that have just reached us.
Can you show?
Yeah, certainly. Which is the color that you like the most?
This looks nice.
Yeah, so this is the rainbow colored one. So this bag, so this is our brand of bag. This is Kule Kule bag. It's got 2 pockets, and this is a wooden button. So this is basically for any of the purchases of more than 3,000, we give this 999 bags as complimentary. This is pure canvas, and the inside, you can see this is inside is all washable, all organic, all biodegradable. Everything that you see here is polyester free, plastic free. Similarly, we have got these small experiments that we are doing.
Small
Like,
bags.
yeah.
Nice.
Just like this one side, and this is passport bag kind of thing. Yeah. So with this one, so all these experiments are on. So my boy keeps on experimenting with these. This is also pure basic organic jute and cotton mix. We keep on doing our experiments over here. So this is basically the section wherein all the experiments are done. And,
Thank you, Anna. Namaskaram.
Namaskar.